Love, a word that carries worlds within it. We write about it, sing about it, dream about it, and yet it often feels like the most complicated puzzle of our lives. But why? Why is it so hard to love? Is it because love demands vulnerability, exposing the deepest corners of our souls? Or is it because in loving another, we are forced to confront ourselves, our flaws, fears, and unmet expectations? It has been quite a while since I posted here on the channel, but now I'm back, bringing you the second part of this trilogy on love. Now that we've tackled the paradox of love, for today's episode, we're diving into the philosophy of love. Together, we'll explore its struggles, its beauty, and the questions that make it one of the most profound human experiences. This is the mystery of love. At this point, the question seems to have an easy answer. Let's revise that. If you're going to deepen the question, why is it hard to love? We might add something to it. The question is not about when you try to love someone forcefully. For example, you have this classmate, or let's say a stranger, and you can't push yourself to love them, or you can't imagine loving them. Now we are led to ponder the greatest question of all. Why is it hard to constantly love? The context that I'm going to here is when you are in a relationship, albeit partners or couples. Throughout the years, you eventually arrive at the point when you question, why is it hard to constantly love? Do you guys get my point? So, to fully delve into this question, we're going to theorize the three important types of love, at least for me. First up, we have philia, which means friendship or platonic love. This is grounded on mutual respect. The second is eros, romantic love, which is passionate and intimate. And the third one is agape, unconditional love. You have to highlight this later on, but we'll get through there. Agape is selfless, prioritizing the well-being of others. With these in mind, I think modern relationships today tend to fail because they prioritize or focus on eros. They often neglect or exclude philia, making their relationships bounded by the standards of society. Just having eros doesn't that much fortify the love that you're trying to build. Let's visualize this sequence. I think philia is so important to the point that it is necessary to develop this kind of friendship first. It helps relationships to know each other first so that they can feel at ease, so that they would know and understand the other person. You see, if you have this unique bond with your friends, the closer you guys are, the more fond you are with each other. Now that's when eros comes in. If you guys are both ready for the relationship or for a relationship, you both become mutual. With philia would say, oh, I realize that what I find in a guy is in him. So you're ready to step up to this new kind of love, another kind of love. Since philia is already developed, you don't judge your partner because you know that they're already like this. You are already fond of them, you know them deeply, and you accept them for who they are. Throughout your journey with your partner, you sit down and realize that love is a choice. In a context where if you love someone, your choice will be the betterment of theirs. Eros becomes more mature. It evolves because of philia's contribution. The fusion of the two is the byproduct of agape, the greatest form of love. Let us first define agape from historical text. C.S. Lewis's concept of commitment love is as opposed to romantic love. M. Scott Peck's definition of love as the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. Agape is a term rooted in ancient Greek or early Christian traditions, often associated or widely regarded as the highest form of love. Agape transcends emotions and personal relationships, emphasizing selfless, unconditional love often associated with divine love or love for humanity. Divine love? Love for humanity? Such familiar words. Where did I heard that from? Aha. Let's slip into some biblical texts, shall we? Understanding the concept of love may seem a bit a lot to take into, but the word love in English can be ambiguous, as it can be used to describe affection for both people and things, such as loving your mother or loving pizza. To understand the meaning of love in the context of Jesus' teachings, it is essential to examine the original language's use. The word love mentioned in Love Your Neighbor as Yourself is a reference to ahava in Hebrew Bible. But Jesus spoke in Aramaic, where the word for love is rakva. When Jesus' disciples spread his teachings, they used the Greek word agape to interpret the word love. God's agape love is most profoundly demonstrated in the famous passage John 3:16, which declares, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life." The definition of agape has quite a lot. We have a lot of definitions of agape. Agape is a type of love that emphasizes action and choice, rather than just feeling. It involves voluntarily paying for the needs of others, especially those who are in deep trouble and have no way to repay you. Agape love is not primarily a feeling for someone else that happens to you. Like our phrase, "I fell in love." For Jesus, love is action, a choice that you make to seek the well-being of people other than yourself. While Eros and Philia work constantly together, Agape is born in the midst of it. We get to learn to be unconditional. If you really love the person, even though they may do something wrong to you, the tendency is for you to forgive and accept. The three are in sequence, but they are interconnected. They work as a whole. If one is lacking, then it might collapse in the long run. So it's better to cultivate each one to foster a deeper connection. For you at home, to further visualize the types of love, we must metaphorically construct it with a pantheon. I'll show you. This is the pantheon. If we're going to construct a pantheon, we need three things that we need in order to be built. The first is we need foundation, right? Foundation is the one that holds these things together. So our foundation here is philia. Philia is, for me, is so important that it needs to be the first one that has to be put on. Then the rest of the things to go up will be followed. Now, the next step in order to build the pantheon is the structure. Our structure here is Eros, because with Eros, the romantic love, it gives it gives relationships, partners, or couples the essence that needs to boost the relationship. So it connects the foundation and also the third one, which is the roof. Without the roof, all that is inside the structure will be easily damaged. So for me, the important thing here is the roof, which is agape, unconditional love. Agape is the one that shields us shields the relationship, shields couples from all the negativity that is brought down with them, to them, rather. So it acts as a protection for all that what might come to them. Because even though life gives you lemons, as they say, they still love each other. They still have this unconditional love that will eventually not leave them to break up. Let's say it's raining, right? So as it rains, the water goes inside if there's no roof. So if there's a roof, the water just slips out outside the Pantheon. So these three are interconnected because they work in order for us to be strong, to have something that we call home. So going back with Eros, Eros connects the roof and the foundation. Because without romantic love, where's the fire? Where's the thing that gives the relationship spice? And philia, since that you have the friendship first, you have developed this kind of friendship, you have now a foreground, a common ground for your relationship to become more, to go up, to step up. And the finishing touch will be the agape, because everything that is built, it is now protected. By embracing all three, we get to the point where we experience what we might call holistic love, a balanced and harmonious blend of passion and intimacy from Eros, mutual respect and companionship for philia, selflessness, and unconditional acceptance from agape. But you must face what we also might call transcending constraints. This integration allows love to overcome attachment and possession that is caused by Eros, that transcend individual limitations and biases by philia, and embody universal compassion and understanding which is brought by agape. It's not just me who ponders this mystery, but also ancient Greek philosophers like Aristotle and Plato who discuss the interconnectedness of these types of loves. Christian theologians like C.S. Lewis and Thomas Merton explored the relationship between agape and eros. Eastern philosophies like Buddhism and Taoism emphasize the importance of cultivating loving kindness, which means metta and compassion. So I have here some philosophical and ethical dimensions about agape, because agape is often considered a moral or ethical imperative. The first one is selfless sacrifice, which prioritizes others' well-being without expectation of return. The second one is universal love, extending compassion and care to all, regardless of their actions or status. The last one is spiritual fulfillment, achieving the highest form of moral good by aligning one's will with divine love. Now, for our honorable mention, we have storge. Yes, it's called storge, which means familial affection. Storge is pronounced storge. It is one of the four classical Greek words for love, alongside eros, philia, and agape that were mentioned a while ago. Storge specifically refers to familial affection, familial love, or natural affection shared between family members, such as parents, the bond between parents, children, and siblings. This type of love is often characterized by care, protection, and a desire for the well-being of loved ones. The most common expression of this is parents' love for their children. In ancient Greek literature and philosophy, storge was recognized as a fundamental form of love. It was considered a more passive or quiet form of love, compared to passionate eros or virtuous philia. In theory, maybe this is the reason why some of us sound like a parent when we like talk things out with our partner. Welcome to our new segment called Peri Ergos. I will be inviting special guests to tell us their perspectives from different lenses. Please welcome Sofia Navarez. It's a great pleasure to have you here. So I've prepared some questions and let's hear what Sophia will say. Do you think the three types of love can be intertwined?
Yes, of course. I believe the three types of love can be intertwined. Um, Personally, I have experienced it with the same person all at once and with different people with different contexts as well. For instance, with you as my partner, I believe our relationship is a blend of it, the agape, the eros, and the philia. It's really amazing how love evolves. It starts off with one thing and naturally grows into something much deeper. And I have realized sa mga sinabi mo before that love is dynamic. And if love is nurtured, it becomes a beautiful harmony of companionship uh, and passion. So yes, it can be intertwined.
As for us who started with Eros, can you say that our philia is growing strong?
Yes, of course. I can confidently say that our field is growing stronger every day. While I sometimes regret that we upgraded our relationship very fast, I also don't regret it since it brought us closer in so many ways we couldn't imagine. Like, but like looking back, I encourage others to start off with philia, since relationship flourish when there is mutual respect with each other.
What advice can you give to couples who started off with Eros? Is there a chance or way that they can cultivate philia as they progress or grow?
Absolutely. If we can do it, other couples who started off with Eros can definitely cultivate Philia as well. It takes intentional effort, but it's also so worth it. If I could give advice to couples who started off with Eros, that's firstly is to prioritize open communication. Talk about your goals, your struggles, even the most random things in your life, because this really deepens your connection and really get to know your partner well. Second is to discover new hobbies, discover new interests, do the things you both love. And third is have patience with each other. After all, love is not just about grand gestures. It's about showing up consistently with one another, um, even during tough times. After all, it's not about finding the right person. It's about becoming the right person for them.
Very well said. Thank you. We have widely regarded that couples break up because of such external factors. People. The main cause is for them to linger in other people's relationships. Jealousy, for instance, is a powerful emotion that can arise from real or perceived threats posed by others. It feeds on insecurities and mistrust, leading to conflicts that can erode the foundation of a relationship. Gossip is another external factor that damages relationships, especially when it spreads false or exaggerated information. Malicious talk or baseless rumors can plant seeds of doubt, creating tension between partners. When people outside the relationship feed these doubts, even unintentionally, they can cause unnecessary friction. The harm caused by gossip is often compounded by biases, preconceived notions, or judgments held by others about the relationship. These biases can influence how couples view each other, especially if they begin to internalize the negative opinions of those around them. This is where confirmation bias plays a crucial role in amplifying these issues and poses a threat. What is confirmation bias? Confirmation bias is people's tendency to process information by looking for or interpreting information that is consistent with their existing beliefs. This biased approach to decision making is largely unintentional, and it results in a person ignoring information that is inconsistent with their beliefs. Now it's time for example given. Confirmation bias can happen anywhere, including in the workplace. If a manager believes one of their employees is lazy and irresponsible, they are more likely to notice and even seek evidence that it supports this conclusion. When one partner starts believing the negative narratives propagated by others, they unconsciously seek evidence to confirm these beliefs while ignoring information that contradicts them. For example, a- if a partner hears a rumor about infidelity, they might interpret innocent actions as proof, regardless of the truth. This tendency to selectively process information can lead to false accusations and unnecessary conflicts. Over time, these external influences create a toxic environment that strains even the strongest relationships, often culminating in a breakup. With these obstacles in society, it is very important for us to be careful and stay strong even in the darkest of times. This reminds me that to oppose every negative that comes across your path, arm yourself with yet again agape. We need to go directly to the greatest Christian thinker of all time, Søren Kierkegaard, and his opus Works of Love. He distinguished between preferential love and unconditional love, the former being that kind that we usually experience. Preferential love can be expansive, but it always has its limits, as in, I loved Bob passionately right up until he emptied my bank account. For Kierkegaard, preferential love just doesn't do the trick. It is not real love. He wrote, "Who is stronger? He who says, 'If you do not love me, I will hate you,' or he who says, 'If you hate me, I will still continue to love you'?" I think we know the answer to that one. The conditions of life are what makes love meaningful. But in order to prolong the essence of this phenomenon, we have to be unconditional. It is hard to love because of the conditions we set out, neglecting the things we must protect. This is Ernest Gerard, and I'll see you in the next one.